Performance of India's 5-year plans. This is found on page number 180, 8th chapter, 8.13. So what do you mean by economic planning? Economic planning is the process in which the limited natural resources are used skillfully so as to achieve the desired goals. So already, as we have seen, every country has got certain amount of natural resources. It is not man-made resources. It is the gift of nature and it is very much limited. Certain resources can be renewed, certain resources cannot be renewed. So it will be wise if we use these limited natural resources skillfully without any wastage, and we have to use these resources to achieve the desired goals. So what do you mean by economic planning? In the simple version, economic planning is the process in which the limited natural resources are used skillfully so as to achieve the desired goals. So this concept of economic planning in India, or the 5-year plan, is derived from Russia. So economic planning was initially done in the Soviet Russia. So India got the idea of economic planning from the former Soviet Russia, and we started to launch the 5-year plan. So India has so far launched 12 5-year plans. The 12th 5-year plan was the last one. The 12th 5-year plan period was from 2012 to 2017. After that, the 5-year plan, was substituted by Niti Aayog. The Government of India has decided to stop the launching of 5-year plans and it was replaced by Niti Aayog, National Institution for Transforming India. So let us see the various 5-year plans launched in India. So we have to see 12 5-year plans. So 5-year plan started in India in the year 1951. It was launched by the then Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. The first 5-year plan, 1951 to 1956. So this plan was based on Harrod-Domar model. The main focus of the plan was agricultural development. As we know, India is an agrarian country. That is, most of the people are dependent on agriculture for their livelihood. So the first plan gave emphasis to the development in agricultural sector. This plan was very successful and it achieved a gross domestic product growth rate of 3.6%. This is more than its target. So the first plan was a successful plan. The plan period was 1951 to 56. The main emphasis was given to the agricultural development. The second 5-year plan, this was based on P.C. Mahalanobis model and the focus was on industrial development. So in India, we have 3 sectors, the agricultural sector, the industrial sector and the tertiary sector, that is the service sector. So in the first plan, importance was given to the agricultural sector. In the second plan, importance was given to industrial development. This plan was successful and it achieved the growth rate of 4.1%. It achieved a growth rate of 4.1%. Next, we have the third 5-year plan, 1961 to 1966. This plan was called as Gadgil Yojana. This plan was called as Gadgil Yojana. The main target of this plan was to make the economy independent and to reach self-propelled position. So the main aim of this plan was economic independence. That is, our country must be independent. It must not rely upon someone. So self-propelled means we are able to move with our own power. Able to move by its own power is called as self-propelled position. So the main target of this plan was for economic independence. India must depend on itself. It should not depend on the neighboring countries or some other organization. Due to the India-China war, this plan did not achieve the growth rate of 5.6%. Already a target was set, but the target was not achieved because of the war with China. So after the war, there was a planned holiday from 1966 to 1969. We stopped the 5-year plan because we had to concentrate more on the war. We had to safeguard our boundaries. We had to protect our people. So the planning was stopped and there was a planned holiday from 1966 to 1969. The main reason behind the planned holiday was the Indo-Pakistan War and the failure of the third plan. The third plan was a failure. The first two plans were successful. During this period, annual plans were made and equal priority was given to agriculture allied sectors and industrial sectors. Even though we did not have any specific plan, our priority was given to agriculture, allied sectors, and industrial sectors. Next, we have the fourth 5-year plan. Plan period was 1969 to 1974. We had two objectives during the fourth 5-year plan. There must be growth with stability and progressive achievement. There should be growth and it should be stable and it must be progressive. This plan also failed. We could not achieve the growth rate of 5.7%. The target set was 5.7, but we were able to reach only 3.3%. So the first plan, agriculture was the priority. Second, industry. The third plan, we had economic independence and to reach self-propelled position. The fourth plan, it was growth with stability and progressive achievement. The fifth 5-year plan, 1974 to 1979, top priority was given to agriculture, then industry, then mines. The growth rate was 4.8% against the target of 4.4%. So this was a successful plan. The draft of this plan was prepared and launched by D.P. Dar. This plan was terminated in 1978. So the plan period was 1974 to 1979, but the plan had to be stopped in 1978. So in 1978 and 79, we started the rolling plan. Then we have the sixth 5-year plan from 1980 to 1985. The main objective was poverty eradication and technological self-reliance. Poverty has to be wiped out. Poverty has to be decreased. Poverty has to be eradicated. At the same time, we have to be dependent on ourselves. Technological self-reliance. India has to rely on itself for technology. Poverty eradication, Garibi Hatao, was the motto of the sixth 5-year plan. It was based on investment yojana. So, investment was made during this plan period. More of investment because we wanted to have technological self-reliance. The growth rate was 5.2, but it achieved 5.7. So the growth the target set was 5.2, but we achieved 5.7. So it was a successful plan. Next, we have the seventh 5-year plan from 1985 to 1990. The objective of this plan was self-sufficient economy. What do you mean by self-sufficient? That is, when a country is completely independent, that is, a country is able to produce its own goods and does not import goods or services. We are able to produce our own goods. Whatever we produce is sufficient for our people, and we are not importing any goods or service from any other country. That is only called as a self-sufficient economy. and opportunities for productive employment. Employment generation must be there. So the growth target was 5%, but we were able to achieve 6%. And for the first time, due to the pressure from the private sector got the priority over the public sector. So India is a mixed economy. We have the private sector and the public sector. But during the 7th 5-year plan, more importance was given to the private sector. Then we had the annual plans due to certain problems during the year 1991 and 91-92. We had annual plans because of the volatile political situations in the center. So we had to have two annual plans in between the 7th 5-year plan and 8th 5-year plan. 8th 5-year plan, the plan period was 92 to 97. The plan priority was for development of human resources. There must be development in human resources, especially in employment, education, and public health. That is, the people of India must all be employed. There must be literacy. The literacy rate must be high. Universal education for everyone. At the same time, public health was also given priority. So during this period, the new economic plan of 1991 was introduced, that is LPG, liberalization, privatization, and globalization. The three pillars of the new economic policy was introduced in 1991. This plan was successful and got annual growth rate of 6.8 against the target of 5.6%. So the target was 5.6%, but we were able to achieve 6.8% growth. Next, we have the 9th 5-year plan. The main focus of this plan was growth with justice and equity. There must be growth, there must be justice, and there must be equality in everything. There must be equity. So this was the main motto of the 9th 5-year plan. This plan failed to achieve the growth rate of 7%. That is the 9th 5-year plan. We were not able to achieve the growth rate or the target which was fixed as 7%. We were able to achieve only 5.6% growth rate. So this plan was a failure. Next, we have the 10th 5-year plan. This plan aimed to double the per capita income. How do you calculate the per capita income? National income divided by the total number of population. So the plan aimed to double, that is, if the per capita income was $100, we have to make it $200. So doubling the per capita income in the next 10 years. And it also aimed to reduce poverty ratio to 15% by 2012. The growth target was 8%, but it achieved only 7.2%. So during the start of every plan, they set a target. இவ்வளோ ரீச் பண்ணணும், இவ்வளோ growth இருக்கணும்னு செட் பண்ணுறாங்க. அதுதான் growth டார்கெட்டுன்னு சொல்கிறோம். இந்த டார்கெட்டை அச்சீவ் பண்ணணும். இவ்வளோ 100 மார்க்ஸ்க்கு நான் 90 எடுக்கணும், அதான் டார்கெட். 90 எடுக்கல, நான் 75 தான் எடுத்தேன், அதுதான் அச்சீவ் பண்ணுறது. ஸோ என்னடா growth டார்கெட்னா என்னது, அச்சீவ்டுனா என்னது? growth டார்கெட்டுன்னு சொல்கிறது 2002லேயே செட் பண்ணுறது. 8% in 2002. Achievement எப்போ பார்க்குறோம்? 2007ல் பார்க்குறோம் 7.2%. Then we have the 11th 5-year plan, 2007 to 12, faster and more inclusive growth. There must be inclusive growth. It must be faster and it must be inclusive. There must be growth in all the sectors. Its growth rate was 8.1%, but it achieved only 7.9%. So the target set, the growth rate target was 8.1%, but we are able to achieve only 7.9%. So we failed only a little bit. Target 8.1, and 7.9 achieve பண்ணிட்டோம். The last plan, faster, more inclusive and sustainable growth. Growth வந்து sustain பண்ணணும். ஒரு நாள் ஏறுறது டொம்மன் கீழே உள்றது அப்படி கிடையாது. Faster, எல்லாத்தையும் இன்க்ளூட் பண்ணும், இன்டகிரேட்டட் அப்ரோச்சாக இருக்கணும். At the same time, it must be sustainable. The growth target was 8%, but how much we achieved is not mentioned in our textbook. So here it can be concluded that since the Indian independence, the 5-year plans of India played a very prominent role in economic development of our country. These plans had guided the government as to how it should utilize scarce resources so that maximum benefits can be gained. So, as mentioned earlier, the natural resources are limited, scarce, பற்றாக்குறையா இருக்கிறது வந்து maximum benefit கிடைக்கிற அளவுக்கு நம்ம யூஸ் பண்ணணும். So here we have to mention that Indian government took the idea of planning from Russia. So the 5-year plans in India, first plan 1951 to 56, second plan 56 to 61, third plan 61 to 66. Then we had the 3 annual plan 66 to 69. ஒரு வருஷத்துக்கு 66 to 67, 67 to 68 and 68 to 69. Fourth 5-year plan 69 to 77. Fifth 5-year plan 74 to 79. Sixth plan 80 to 85. Seventh plan 85 to 1990. Eighth plan 92 to 97. Then we have the 9th plan 97 to 2012. 10th plan 2002 to 7. 11th plan 7 to 12. And the 12th plan, which is the last plan, 2012 to 2017. So Niti Aayog, the Planning Commission, has been replaced by Niti Aayog on 1st Jan 2015. This is very, very important because it was introduced by our current Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi. So this question can be asked very, very often. Okay, so you can expect this question in your public question paper. The Planning Commission has been replaced by Niti Aayog on 1st Jan 2015. Niti means National Institution for Transforming India. Aayog will monitor, coordinate and ensure implementation of the acceptable sustainable development goals. Niti Aayog serves as a knowledge hub and monitors progress in the implementation of policies and programs of the Government of India. Last, we have the development indicators. We have to study about 2 development indicators, the Human Development Index and the Physical Quantity of Life Index. With this, we will be closing the 8th chapter. So these are the 2 development indicators. ஒரு country டெவலப் ஆயிருக்கு, இப்போ ஒருத்தர் நல்லா ஆரோக்கியமா இருக்காங்க, இண்டிகேட்டர் என்னது? நல்ல வளர்ச்சி இருக்குது, ஹைட்டு, வெயிட்டு, இதை பார்த்து தான் இண்டிகேட்டர். நல்லா அவங்க வந்துட்டு ஹெல்த்தியாக இருக்காங்க அப்படின்னு பிளட் டெஸ்ட் பண்ணுவாங்க, ப்ரெஷர் பார்ப்பாங்க, இதெல்லாம் கரெக்டாக இருந்தால் அதுதான் இண்டிகேட்டர்ஸ். அது மாதிரி ஒரு கண்ட்ரிக்கு எது இண்டிகேட்டர்? 2 இண்டிகேட்டர் நம்ம படிக்க போகிறோம், ஹியூமன் டெவலப்மெண்ட் இண்டெக்ஸ் அண்ட் PQNI. ஸோ வாட் இஸ் ஹியூமன் டெவலப்மெண்ட் இண்டெக்ஸ்? Human Development Index was developed by Pakistani economist Mahbub al-Haq and the Indian economist Amartya Kumar Sen in 1990. So this is very important one word. HDI was developed by Pakistani economist Mahbub al-Haq and Indian economist Amartya Kumar Sen in the year 1990 and was published by the United Nations Development Programme, UNDP. It is constructed based on, so this Human Development Index is constructed based on 3 things: life expectancy index, education index and GDP per capita. So this Human Development Index is constructed with 3 indexes or 3 indices: life expectancy, educational index and GDP per capita. So HDI is based on the following 3 indicators. Longevity is measured by life expectancy at birth. ஸோ சராசரியாக இந்தியாவில் பிறந்த ஒருத்தர் எவ்வளோ நாள் உயிரோடு இருப்பாங்க? 69 வயசு வரைக்கும் இருக்கலாம். இதுதான் என்னது? திஸ் இஸ் ஒன்லி கால்ட் அஸ் லைஃப் எக்ஸ்பெக்டன்சி அட் பர்த். இப்போ நார்வேயில் இருக்கவங்க 82 இயர்ஸ் இருக்கலாம், ஃபின்லாண்டில் இருக்கவங்க 85 இயர்ஸ் இருக்கலாம். இதுனா என்னது? லைஃப் எக்ஸ்பெக்டன்சி அட் பர்த். ஈச் கண்ட்ரி ஹஸ் காட் அ லைஃப் எக்ஸ்பெக்டன்சி நம்பர். ஸோ longevity is measured by life expectancy, educational attainments, whether they are postgraduates, whether they are doctorates, whether they are undergraduates, whether they have studied only up to 10th standard, 12th standard. This is only called as educational attainments. Then the standard of living, which is measured by the real GDP, மக்களுடைய வாழ்க்கை தரம். So the top 3 countries of HDI are Norway. It has got 0.949. ஸோ இந்த HDI வந்து 0 to 1 வரைக்கும் மெஷர் பண்ணுவோம், 0லேருந்து 1குள்ளே தான் இருக்கும். ஸோ நார்வே தான் ஹையஸ்ட் குட் அதாவது ஹியூமன் டெவலப்மெண்ட் இண்டெக்ஸில் ஹையஸ்ட் இருக்கிறது நார்வே. அதனுடைய இது வந்து 0.949. The value of HDI at Norway is 0.949. Next, it is followed by Australia and Switzerland, 0.939, 0.939. Next, Physical Quality of Life Index, PQLI. This was developed by Morris D. Morris. The Physical Quality Life Index is a measure to calculate the quality of life. So it helps us to measure the quality of life or the well-being of a country. For this, we have to know 3 indicators. Again, life expectancy, infant mortality rate and literacy rate. எத்தனை குழந்தைகள் சாவறாங்க, 100,000 குழந்தைகளுக்கு எத்தனை குழந்தைங்க சாவறாங்க, that is only infant mortality rate. Literacy rate 100%ல எத்தனை பேர் படிச்சிருக்காங்க. So here also the scale of each indicator ranges from number 1 to 100. அங்க வந்து HDI என்ன சொன்ன, 0 to 1 இருக்கும்னு சொன்னேன். இங்க வந்து 1 to 100 இருக்கும். Okay, number 1 represents the worst performance, 100 is the best performance. For example, எந்த கண்ட்ரிக்கு 100 அசைன் பண்ணிருக்காங்கன்னா, it is achieved by Sweden. For example, in case of life expectancy, the upper limit of 100, this was assigned to 77 years. அப்போ ஒரு ஸ்வீடன்ல இருக்க ஆள் வந்து மேக்ஸிமம் வாழ முடியும் 77 years. அதுதான் ஹையஸ்ட். மீதி கண்ட்ரீஸ்ல கம்மி தான், 76, 75, 69. பட் ஸ்வீடனில் பிறக்கிற ஒரு ஆள் வந்து 77 இயர்ஸ் இருக்க முடியும். இது எப்போ அச்சீவ் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க, 1973. மேபி நவ் வி ஆர் இன் 2021. It must be around 84 or 85 like that. The lower limit 1, எந்த கண்ட்ரி ரொம்ப மோசமாக இருக்கு, அந்த கண்ட்ரியில் இருக்கவங்க 28 வயசு வரைக்கும் தான் வாழ முடியுமா. திஸ் இஸ் கினியா பிசாவ். In 1960 இதை அச்சீவ் பண்ணியிருக்காங்க. மேபி நவ் தே வுட் ஹவ் இம்ப்ரூவ் டு 44 or 45, not very sure. So Guinea-Bissau in 1960. So I want to repeat this. A scale of each indicator ranges from number 1 to 100. Number 1 represents the worst performance by any country. 100 is the best performance. For example, in case of life expectancy, the upper limit of 100, this was assigned to 77 years, which was achieved by Sweden in 1973. The lower limit 1 was assigned to 28 years, which was achieved by Guinea-Bissau in 1960. So Human Development Index dimensions எதெல்லாம் நம்ம இது பண்ணோம், லாங் அண்ட் ஹெல்த்தி லைஃபாக இருக்கணும், நாலேஜ் இருக்கணும், decent standard of living. Every country wants to achieve this. Every citizen wants to have a long life, at the same time healthy life. They must be literates, knowledge நல்லா இருக்கணும், decent standard of living. ஸோ இதெல்லாம் எதை வச்சு இண்டிகேட்டர்ஸ், எதை வச்சு கண்டுபிடிக்கலாம், life index expectancy at birth, adult literacy, gross enrollment ratio in school level or in college level, GDP per capita, okay, that is purchasing power parity in US dollars. So what are the index given for this? Life expectancy index, educational index and GDP index. So with this we end the 8th chapter. This was a very lengthy chapter. We had to see so much in this. So right from the beginning, a recap of all that we saw. So Indian economy before and after independence, Indian economy during the British period, the land tenure system, Zamindari, Mahalwari and Raitwari system. Green Revolution, the father of Green Revolution was M.S. Swaminathan. The achievements of Green Revolution, the weakness of Green Revolution. Then we studied about Rainbow Revolution, overall development of agriculture and allied sector. This is very, very important. Large-scale industries, we studied about 8 large-scale industries in detail. Iron and steel industry, jute industry, cotton and textile industry, sugar industry, fertilizer industry, paper industry, silk industry, petroleum and natural gas industry. Then we studied about small-scale industries and the role of small-scale industries in economic development. Then micro, small and medium enterprises. Under this we had 2 things, manufacturing enterprises. Under manufacturing enterprises we had 3 side headings, micro manufacturing enterprises, small manufacturing enterprises, medium manufacturing enterprises. Then under service enterprises we again had 3 service industries. Then public sector and private sector banks, nationalization of banks, objectives of nationalization, and today we saw the performance of India's 5-year plan. We saw 12 5-year plans, then Niti Aayog, which has replaced the 5-year plans in India. Then the development indicators, Human Development Index, which was developed by Pakistani economist Mahbubul Haq and Indian economist Amartya Kumar Sen. Then PQLI, which was developed by Morris D. Morris. So with this, we shall end the 8th chapter. I will be posting the materials in the WhatsApp group. Please go through all the lessons. This lesson has been prepared based on the reduced syllabus given by the government. Thank you, girls.